What's going on, guys? Unofficial MCU here. Hope you're all doing well. And in today's video, we have our full Spider-Man No Way Home teaser trailer breakdown and things you may have missed. So guys, we're going to jump right on into it here with the initial teaser trailer here. Of course, the first couple of seconds here are actually quick and fast cut-paced scenes here. We have one scene with MJ and Peter on top of a tall building. We have another one of Peter looking around outside of a car. Another one with Stephen Strange on top of a train is what it looks like. And then this shot right here with Stephen Strange actually going after Peter as he's falling into this void. And then from there we have our actual title being Spider-Man No Way Home official teaser trailer, guys. So the initial teaser trailer here starts, of course, with MJ and Peter on top of a building, just kind of hanging out and laying low. And furthermore, it looks like the relationship between these two have actually really developed as MJ teases at Peter a couple of times here. So I'm going to go ahead and gander that these two are actually full on dating. Furthermore, we get our first official sneak peek here at what really this overall film is going to be about here as far as Tom Holland's Peter Parker goes, as in the last film, Spider-Man Far From Home, at the end of the film, Mysterio actually revealed the identity of Peter Parker. So now we kind of have a sad Peter Parker here who's just kind of looking for a way out. He doesn't want everybody to know that he's actually Spider-Man, and he's just kind of almost depressed and downed at that. So he's thinking here and looking for something to do, and that there is, of course, something that we're going to see here later on in the overall trailer. Now, MJ is reading a newspaper here to him and joking around with some of the headlines and titles here, saying that Spider-Man's powers make him actually have females fall in love with him, as MJ is kind of just joking with him. And there are different images as well here as we get a very, very faint look here. If you guys actually look right on the newspaper, it looks like SANDMAN to me, and there's actually another little part in the trailer here where we actually might have seen SANDMAN that we actually originally saw in the Tobey Maguire films. Another thing I thought I would mention is that it looks like there's going to be a few different little bit of time jumps here actually throughout the overall film, as we see MJ and Peter swinging through the city here, and that looks like that's taking place directly after the events, or actually, yeah, directly after the events here with Spider-Man Far From Home, after his identity here was actually revealed. It looks like he just grabbed MJ and they just swung away, and we see a few billboards actually light up saying that he's like an enemy and he's bad and this and that. So the next scene here that we do get, and also before I forget, the helicopter scene that we got there at the beginning of the trailer looks like it is also taking place directly after the events of Spider-Man Far From Home, as he's actually caught from the cops here in the next scene here, as we see he's being questioned and saying that he was the one that had killed Mysterio, and he's denying it, saying that the drones had done it, and the police come up to him and say, the drones that you made. So it looks like the blame here, of course, is being put on Peter after the death of Mysterio, and furthermore, it doesn't look like Mysterio is really going to be appearing here anywhere in this film. We then hear Peter go on to tell that this is kind of affecting everybody in his life. In this shot right here, it looks like, I think I'm going to go off a limb here, I think it's Peter's high school, and then we get another shot right here of what kind of furthermore supports my whole theory there at the beginning of the video here, with MJ and Peter having a more serious relationship, as we do see the two here on FaceTime actually, and talking on the phone. The next scene right here, we get a glimpse of people outside of either option A, what is a city hall or a court right here, and then option B being the high school that Peter Parker goes to. I'm going to go on a limb here and say that it's Peter Parker's school here, as he's with Ned, MJ, and a few other students here with backpacks on as they're going to school, and people are booing at him and boycotting pretty much almost. Now, I do want to point out that it's good that Peter's friends are standing by him, and furthermore, my theory there at the beginning of the video, MJ and Peter are getting a little more serious here as they are holding hands and staying strong together, of course. Poor Ned there in the back is kind of third wheeling with them, though. The next scene here goes to have MJ kind of almost accusing Peter of lying about his identity, and Peter then responds with, I never really wanted to lie to anybody about any of this. This scene right here that I had mentioned earlier in the video of MJ and Peter on top of a bridge here, it takes place directly after the events of Spider-Man Far From Home, as they are running away from the crowd here and trying to get away. Of course, they are then stopped by these police helicopters, as it almost seems that Spider-Man is being taking MJ hostage here. Of course, though, we do know that he's not. He's just simply trying to protect her. And furthermore, my evidence there, of course, he's wearing the Far From Home suit, the black and red there. The next clip here, we have Peter walking through the halls of the school as everybody is kind of shaming him and recording him and saying, wow, is that really Spider-Man? as he does say that, and now everybody knows. Now, guys, this next scene here is pretty interesting, and I honestly think that this is pretty much going to have how the overall film here is really going to begin here, with police sirens going off outside, with Aunt May and Peter kind of just chilling out on the couch, probably watching the news or something, watching TV, and they are all then taken into custody, including all of his friends, Aunt May, Ned, MJ, all of them are all taken into custody to be questioned about Peter's real identity and really being Spider-Man. We then, of course, go on to hear the caring Peter Parker say that this is hurting a lot of his loved ones, this is hurting a lot more people than just himself, and he doesn't want that to happen. This is when we then do actually go see him visit Stephen Strange to see what he can possibly do. Now, this scene right here is low-key kind of important because, for one thing, it supports my idea of the different time jumps going on. We had the Far From Home time jumps here, and then we're going to the Halloween almost type of time right here, so it seems like these are Halloween decorations, and then, of course, we're going to go to the Christmassy more time of year with snow outside. Now, the reason that these witch hats are important because we see Peter actually looking at these hats, and of course, this may be a little bit of a stretch, but I do think the reason that he's actually looking at these hats and thinking is because he thinks of Doctor Strange, he thinks of witches, wizards. Doctor Strange is a wizard, of course, so he goes and pays a visit over to Doctor Strange. And also, before I forget, we then also do see the Marvel Studios logo and also see the Sony Studios logo as well. Then, of course, see Peter go pay a visit here to Stephen Strange to see if he can get any help from him, and of course, this is where we see like all the different snow here. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the scene. There's a bunch of scene inside of the sanctum right here, Doctor Strange's sanctum, which is kind of interesting and kind of weird, and they're all wearing coats, and we also do see Wong here. Now, a little bit of a fan theory here with Wong is that Wong was actually going off to the Shang-Chi movie to go fight Abomination, but that's just a little bit of a fan theory there. And a little funny detail here is that we have Stephen Strange say, "Please, just call me by my first name, Stephen Strange," of course. We saved the galaxy together. We saved the universe together. It's just kind of like a little bit of a fun humor here in the overall movie. Of course, you got to have a little bit of humor in the Spider-Man movies. Now, this next scene here is fairly important as we get a brand new look here and our really first official look here for an actual teaser trailer at the Spider-Man No Way Home new suit. It's a black and gold suit here as we see Spider-Man actually running through what appears to be the school, actually. I'm gandering that that's an actual school, as though it does look like there's like a lot of adults in the school, so it very well could also be like a soup kitchen. And we also see that guy there in the background pointing towards where whatever Peter's after is kind of going. So I'm going to go off a limb here and say that it's not actually his school. I'm going to say it's something else like a soup kitchen or something like that because nobody's really attacking the poor guy. As in, what I mean is that nobody's really shaming him or anything like that. Unfortunately, that's what they're exactly doing in this next scene. Everybody's kind of crowding around him and kind of questioning him at that as he's trying to get out of there. And as you guys can tell, he's wearing that suit from Far From Home. So that there is taking place during or directly after the events of Far From Home, as we can see. So with that, in this next scene right here, we have Peter Parker spark the question, propose the question here to Stephen Strange, asking him, is there any way that you can change this for me? Is there any way you can make it so nobody knows who I am? Can you make it so nobody knows Spider-Man's identity? And Steven, of course, is told by Wong not to try the spell, but he winks at him and tells him, yeah, okay, and he winks over at Peter here, and then they go off and try this spell here. Now, like I had mentioned earlier on, that Wong is actually going off to the events here of Shang-Chi, as we did see him in the Shang-Chi trailer here fighting Abomination. Now, this right here, honestly, in my own thoughts and opinions, is kind of almost like a turning point here for this overall trailer. This here is where things get really interesting here, where Doctor Strange is about to go in here and work on the spell and cast a spell with his Doctor Strange-y type of magic here as they head on downstairs to what seems like almost like a basement. Now, this here is also where Peter really starts to think about things here and saying that everybody is going to forget who Spider-Man is, and he really puts that into question, saying that Aunt May isn't going to know who Spider-Man is, and MJ isn't going to know who Spider-Man is. Same thing goes for Ned, and this here is where he kind of almost messes up, or does actually mess up with the spell. The two leading factors, Doctor Strange not necessarily really being fully trained, knowing onto the spell, as we do see Wong not wanting him to even bother or try with the spell as of right now, saying that it's too dangerous, and then we have the other factor of Peter questioning and talking a bunch during the spell as he's practicing the spell and doing the overall spell. Peter, of course, says, propose the question, can't some people still know? And Stephen Strange, of course, says, no, that's not necessarily how it works. The spell at this point is pretty much full on in motion here, and Peter is pretty much starting to freak out, which makes Doctor Strange freak out, and then makes the whole spell pretty much freak out, as then the screen cuts to black, and we get a few glimpses here at the multiverse. Of course, at this point, the entire room is pretty much being destroyed and spinning around, and then we get a few glimpses here, as I had mentioned, at the actual multiverse, and it almost looks is like a direct reference here, almost to the Loki right here, as we do see those same kind of almost tunnels here with Loki and in the Loki show. It is about 3 in total shots of these different tunnels, and this one right here in particular, this green one, stands out to me the most. Now, first of all, it almost looks like the Bifrost that we saw in the Thor movies, so that leads to one question: could it be the Bifrost? I highly doubt it, so that one's kind of out of the way, I feel like. But really, what I'm trying to see here with this image more specifically is who on earth is on the other side of that tunnel right there, and it very does look like Green Goblin to me on his like little speeder thing that we see him fly around in the first Spider-Man movie released in 2002 with Tobey Maguire. It's just a little bit of a speculation and theory for as of right now. I'm probably going to talk a little bit more about that in a whole separate video, guys. But after this right here, after all those crazy shots right here, it almost reminds me of Infinity War, where Thor gets to the point where he actually takes down Thanos and stabs him in the chest with his hammer. But, you know, it's like things kind of go quiet, and it's kind of like, what happened? What did you just do? Almost type of thing. And that's kind of what we saw there with Spider-Man and Stephen Strange there. We then, of course, get that this Christmas, it looks like they're going to be sticking to the December 17th release date, very thankfully, of course, and hopefully, seeing that Venom was actually pushed back about a month now. There were a lot of, you know, theories and speculations out there that Spider-Man No Way Home would also be pushed back. Now, we see a series here of Peter in his Far From Home suit, that black and red, so that also leads to the other question of maybe this is taking, you know, place directly after those events here, as we see him running off of these rooftops here, and then running off and then flying down like this tunnel thing that Doctor Strange is making with his mind. So that leaves the question is, does Doctor Strange even know, you know, who Peter is at this point? Did he actually forget who he is as well? And then Spider-Man's running away in confusion as Doctor Strange is confused at him, and he's like, who are you? Why are you in this place with me? Why are you on my, or like in my sanctum here with me type of vibe here, where we then kind of almost see the two here go in almost like a chase here and like a rundown here, as it looks like Steven is actually after Peter on this train. It doesn't look like he's like really trying to shield him or protect him or anything. It looks like he's after him, like almost that he's like mad at him at this point. So that leaves a huge theory and suspicion here. I think I'm going to talk about a little bit in a separate video here. I think Doctor Strange even forgot who Peter Parker and Spider-Man is as well here. Before I forget and before we move on, I missed this one little snippet right here of a yellow lightning strike striking down by these police officers right here, and that there, guys, that's him. That's ELCTRO. That is Jamie Foxx's ELCTRO with a remodel almost with like yellow instead of blue that we saw in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield. He's now updated and looks better than ever. But that there is our first look out of another one, and hopefully more yet to come here, and many more trailers and teasers and that type of stuff. So now moving on, we then hear Doctor Strange, you know, say that the problem is that you, Peter, are trying to live 2 different lives, and then we see him almost knock him out of the body pretty much type of experience here. It's essentially his soul, as we did see in the first Doctor Strange movie with the Ancient One knocking Stephen Strange out of his body, or his soul out of his body. It's essentially his soul being knocked out of his body. Now this here is furthermore when even more things get interesting in this trailer, when we see Spider-Man on top of a bridge, almost like type of thing here with the iron suit here, and then we cut to another scene here with FBI agents or maybe SHIELD agents or something like that closing in on Happy inside of his car as he looks pretty dang shocked. However, it essentially looks like some sort of car accident might have happened here or something like that. Maybe Happy had some sort of run-in with one of the Sinister Six that we do later on see in the overall trailer here, and we'll hopefully see overall in the rest of the movie. Starting here with this first one right here, we see something in the background here of Peter lurch at him, and it has some red type of dots and color schemes going on with this character. This definitely is a character that we've never actually seen before, which makes me lead to believe that this is actually going to be the Scorpion that we actually saw in one of the post-credit scenes Spider-Man Homecoming, the first film that we have with Tom Holland. The post-credit scene actually featured Vulture, of course, the main villain of that film, in prison, and then talking to who was presumably actually the Scorpion. So I think that he's also going to be a part of the Sinister Six. Now, this next scene here is Electro, of course, but what I found kind of interesting and kind of fishy about this scene is where he's striking down. The land almost seems to move, which I think very well could be Sandman, but it's just a little bit of a theory and speculation for as of right now. It looks like Electro is almost attacking Sandman at that, so it's kind of interesting, and I think I want to talk about it a little deeper in a separate video. So aside from that, it's really confirmed to be Jamie Foxx's Electro, and then maybe Sandman, but this next scene right here, oh my gosh, that one had me screaming, of course. Guys, if you didn't already, check out my reaction video, because it's kind of funny, honestly, you know, rewatching it back. But this here is William Dafoe's, first of all, we hear him laughing in the background, and that's one of the Green Goblin's bombs, then blowing up part of the bridge, or, you know, that is Spider-Man's on. I just want to say that I think William Dafoe is an amazing actor, and to see him reprise the role of Green Goblin in Spider-Man 3 No Way Home is just absolutely unbelievable and absolutely amazing. Now, the next scene here that we have here, the screen goes black essentially after all those different scenes of, you know, Electro and then Green Goblin. We then cut to a voice saying, "Don't be careful what you wish for, Peter." And I think that there is actually the voice of Doc Ock. If it's not him, then it's probably Stephen Strange, but I really do think it's Doc Ock, as we then see his scary, scary robotic, you know, Dr. Octopus tentacles come up out of the ground here, as he is coming from the multiverses, what I'm presuming here. And then we get our zoom in here. Of course, zooming in then after that, we then see, of course, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock here, of course, that we were first seeing in the original Spider-Man trilogy here with Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire, and wow, that de-aging is honestly unbelievable, guys. Like, that looks so good. I didn't actually know, like, I thought he just didn't age or something, because it's that dang good. And of course, we have Peter Parker on top of a car, who then gets into the Spidey stance and has that nanotech Spider-Man suit going into his suit right there. And voila, just like that, our 3 minutes and 3 seconds of heaven is pretty much over, with the Spider-Man No Way Home, of course, title here going on the screen, guys. Wow, that there was really quite the breakdown, guys. That is my full breakdown, guys. And of course, like I had mentioned before, we have our whole reaction video here. I took the whole video initially after like 2 minutes after me seeing the actual trailer here. It was pretty much just a pretty good 6 minutes of me freaking out over the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, guys. And of course, we then also get a glimpse there at the December 17th release date. It looks like Marvel and Sony are, of course, going to be sticking to that release date, hopefully very promptly, and won't get pushed back, hopefully. Seeing that Venom 2 was pushed back, like I had mentioned earlier on in this video, was a lot pretty scary for a lot of Marvel fans. So seeing that this here hopefully won't be pushed back is pretty relieving. Seeing that they're going to hopefully stick with that December 17th release date is something I really hope. But wow, really, just to recap here, essentially a little bit of my reaction video, to see that this is all actually true, the rumors and the theories and the speculations of the multiverse and the Sinister Six getting together here in one Spider-Man film, and then having, you know, all the Spider-Man actually be all together in one single film. You know, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire's, and House I'll be with Tom Holland. It's just mind-boggling and absolutely amazing, and I think that this movie is going to be one of the most anticipated movies, as if it isn't already, of 2021, guys. Like, we literally didn't have a trailer for months on end, and it was like #1 trending at times on Twitter, of course, and on different social media platforms, and it was being one of the most talked about things, of course, throughout social media. I don't want to leave you guys hanging with the leaked images that we presumably saw in yesterday's video, actually, of course, being Norman Osborn and Doc Ock, and then Jamie Foxx's Electro here. Those images, I'm pretty sure, are going to be real, and I think that we're going to see those in the actual, like, official trailer, seeing that this is only a teaser trailer, guys. That was just simply a teaser trailer. Now, can you imagine an actual full-length trailer showing us all of these different villains all together? I think that these images are very well true, and seeing that also, you know, Doc Ock's on his back right here, his, you know, CGI and special effects aren't actually finished right there. There's still time that this here is actually very well going, you know, these are actually going to be in the actual official trailer, and that these images are actually real. So with that, and kind of on the topic of the overall Sinister Six here appearing in this movie, guys, I have it written down right here. Of course, the confirmed members pretty much at this point, of course, being Electro, Green Goblin, I'm thinking Sandman, he's kind of a maybe, Doc Ock, and Vulture. Those are pretty much all confirmed at this point. And now those are only 5 out of 6 of the Sinister Six, you know, presumably the name. We're missing one more member here. And as I had mentioned, I think I saw Scorpion there in the trailer here as well, and he was in the post-credit scene there for Spider-Man Homecoming. So I very well think it could be him, it could be Lizard, and my least likely one on this list here is going to be Mysterio. You know, he's kind of dead at this point. Unless he's coming from a different multiverse, I don't think he's really an option at this point. But with all of that, guys, I want to thank you guys all so much for watching today's video, especially if you're still watching up until this point, guys. I want to know all of your theories and suspicions. What did you guys notice in this trailer? Is there anything we might have missed? And guys, I really want to know all of your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. Furthermore, I just want to say it's been a long time coming for this trailer. Of course, some of us have been waiting nearly over a year at this point to get our first glimpse at this film, and it's just absolutely mind-boggling, like I had mentioned in the reaction video. So guys, definitely go ahead over there and check that one out as well, guys. But guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. Check out our Instagram, Unofficial MCU, for more Marvel-related updates, and hit that subscribe button and notification bell for more Marvel-related updates and news here on the channel, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Thank you so much all for supporting my channel and me and what I do here. I absolutely love to make videos for you guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Peace out.